let's go. The story of somebody's life, journey, a moment in time, or it could mean nothing without a husband and a housewife.
Ready?
I was born ready.
Let's do this. My name's Joe Sealey and welcome to our podcast. We're back. It's the second week and I'm joined by Debbie McGee.
People are going to start actually thinking you're married to Debbie McGee.
I wouldn't mind being married to Debbie McGee, Nicole. I reckon she's a right goer.
Joe, that's shambles. You can't say that.
So it's Bank Holiday Monday today, Nicole.
It is bank holiday. I was looking forward to lying, but you've dragged me out again.
Yeah, you did say it's Bank Holiday. And I've never understood bank holidays. Like, explain it to me. Why do they exist? Like, I don't get it.
What do you mean, why do they exist?
I've always worked on bank holidays. Whether it comes from playing in football and stuff, gyms don't shut and whatever, you always work. I don't get it. I mean, I saw somebody yesterday that owns a business locally and he's opening today for the first time in 9 weeks, and somebody that works for him rang him and said it's bank holiday.
Well, quite often I'm the busiest on a bank holiday, aren't I? So I work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So no, but what can I say about a bank holiday?
Do your staff get it off?
Office-based staff do, but obviously site staff, we're really busy on site, so that'll be, but they obviously get time and a half, so everybody wants to work bank holiday.
You pay more money?
Yeah, I don't know. Things could change actually on that front, couldn't they? But I think on the whole, we do, most people do. So yeah, how many do we get a year?
Is it 8?
You don't see this, you don't even know. I'm just having a look.
What are you looking on Google?
I'm Googling it.
You're on the podcast, Nicole. You can't be on Google. It's very awkward. It's so hard for me to keep this going when she's doing that all the time, isn't it?
Well, I needed the full explanation. To be fair, I'm not 100% sure. They obviously, bank holidays are like, you've got the May one, haven't you? The spring one. So, over at Christmas. Then you've got the August bank holiday. But yeah, I think it's just an excuse to have an extra day off.
But at the minute, especially, no one's really worked a day for 9 weeks. No. It's, every day's a bank holiday, isn't it?
I'll be honest with you, someone that I know quite well, won't name them. I think they were a little bit, they're going back to work, and obviously everybody's been off, I know they've been furloughed, etc. And I could kind of see his point, but they were back in on the Monday. He said, right, come on, because they had a job to do. Yeah. It's a window fitting company actually, and basically, is it
Wilmslow Glass?
But anyway,
I think Warren?
I think they may have thrown their toys out the pram a little bit, and I think it was a little bit taken aback because people have had that much. Everybody's working now, so it's fine, but I think initially everyone was, whoa, it's a bank holiday.
And I think at the minute, a lot of people are losing their jobs. Like for example, we've got one of our property, we've got a coffee shop as one of our tenants, right?
That's correct,
and he's gone out of business.
He has, which is really sad. He's a lovely man.
He's only been going for 6 months and he's having to shut. So I'm meeting him today at 1 o'clock to see what we can do. We're going to obviously, you said it as well, let him out of his lease.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing else to do, but he's got someone coming to look at his business today, see if they want to take it over. And it's a sad situation. His text basically said to me, I've got to earn my money. I can't afford it at the minute. I need to go back to being a labourer or whatever he was doing before, something along those lines. And the whole of the world seems like that now, isn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair, he was just building it up and just starting to do well, and then obviously this happened. But yeah, hopefully he'll just get someone to take over, and he can start getting back to doing what he needs to for his family.
Okay, tell us a bit about your week this week. What have you been doing?
Oh, my week. What have I? Well, I haven't filmed this week. I've done a few interviews. What else have I done? I haven't done that much, I feel like. I've been very boring.
You don't pass the pod.
I did.
I want to talk about passing the pod, because obviously Peter Crouch uses pass the pod, so I'm trying to think of a good one for our listeners to do.
Okay.
Right? So I've got grab the pod, and my idea is you see someone on their phone, you take their phone, you go on Spotify or Google, and you put the pod on, and then give their phone back.
To see what they've been listening to?
No,
you
put our podcast. Yeah, so you. Someone
you want to know, force people.
You grab it. So if you see someone on the tube or the train, you're going to give it back. Don't be too forceful. Just take it. Say, grab the pod.
Yeah.
Search your husband and a housewife. Yeah. And give it back. Press play.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can just go up to random people and do that.
Well, maybe if the listeners want to
They
come
might
up with
think you're
something
trying to be mugged.
No, because you're giving it back. You're giving it back.
Oh no, but they won't know that. We're going to go up to some poor lady and grab our
I was going to say, I'd definitely make sure it was someone older, probably a female, that you can grab, because you don't want to be doing it to some big guy with tattoos.
Why, in case he clumps you on?
Yeah, and probably be quicker than me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I'm not sure that's going to work. I think you're going to have to come up with something else.
Well, I can't think of anything else. I've been thinking about this all week, and this is what I've got.
Well, you didn't discuss it with me.
No, because I've been thinking about it when I'm in the shower. You know,
okay.
I listen to podcasts in the morning, don't I, when I get in the shower.
You do.
And I was thinking about it then, and I was thinking, right, he's got past the pod. Grab the pod.
What have I been doing? I tell you what I'm sick of, though, is I've hit the point of, obviously I've got no cleaner at the moment, and I'm losing the will to live with the cleaning. Literally, my sink in the kitchen, because we've got like one of those resin worktop, which are really sturdy, but you kind of have to, it looks like it needs sanding down.
It's white, isn't it?
It's white. And the children, I say children loosely, all of them in the house just use it as a dumping ground. And now and I'm literally losing the will to live with it. And I put washing in the washing machine, and it'd just be nice if one person in the house would actually get the washing out and hang it up. So I'm a bit moany. I feel quite moany in my head. I'm quite moany.
It's been going on for a long time now, hasn't it?
I need my cleaner back desperately. I miss her so much.
I don't know.
Please come back, Lisa.
I don't know if Lisa's coming back.
Please come back.
I haven't
soon.
heard from her. I mean, 6 weeks.
But I think you're going to be able to from next week, hopefully. I know, like the kids are going back to school. Some of them next week, aren't they?
Yeah, Kira's going back to university on the 7th.
Well,
she's moving into the halls.
Yeah, this is a nightmare now. So taking a house with all her friends, planning for. Oh, sorry, that was my laptop. Planning for next year, next semester, and now they're saying that they may not even be going back, and they may be working online. I'm hoping that will change because they're saying.
I think Cambridge have said they're not opening, right?
Oxford, one of them have said that, but to be fair, they're working on the disease, so do they know something more than we do? Because if they're not going in for a whole year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that could have been an expensive mistake. Because the house is now taken, so they're all going to have to make sure they get jobs. That's all I can say.
I mean, speaking of the disease, what is your opinion on it at the minute, and what do you think they should be doing or not doing?
Oh, that's a big question for this early in the morning. What do I think? I do think, I mean, people are not completely adhering to it anyway. The numbers are coming down, and I think the impact on sort of the economy is obviously huge, and I think there has to be a balance of now. I think what they're doing is correct, actually. I think staged and staggered getting back to work, but I think now they need to push on and obviously address it as they go. And I think the number system is a pretty good idea, actually. It's something that I think I would have considered doing it in that way. You're not in a good position being in government at the moment. It is a no-win situation. Yeah. And whether you like Boris, you don't like Boris, whatever your opinion, that is a tough job at the minute.
Well, I like Boris.
Yeah, I know.
I like Trump as well.
Yeah, well...
It makes me laugh.
I'm not sure that your leader's supposed to be making you laugh, but, hey ho.
He does the best news conferences I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, it's not entertainment. That's why you have podcasts, Joe. Do you know what I mean? The government. But no, I think it's a real tough time.
Well, I think that now that, it's been a long time, you're right, people are not sticking to the rules now. No. You can drive around and you can see it. I mean, we went to London this week, didn't we?
Oh, we did, yes. Oh, yeah, so let's talk about that.
No, we went to London, and so we went to Chingford, Robin's Pie and Mash shop. Happy with that, and your Lynchman. Right. A friend of mine's got a lovely pie and mash shop.
It was actually delicious.
And I bought 20 pie and mash. If you don't know what pie and mash is, it's pie and mash, and it has a green sauce on it. It's called liquor.
It's a parsley liquor.
It's my favourite thing in the world. It's parsley, made of parsley in it.
Yeah.
And you can only buy that in them, and jelly dills.
Yeah.
That's it. So we went to London, and I've got to say there's a massive difference from there to where we live up here. I thought in the high street, there was every shop was nearly open.
It was.
And it was mobbed, weren't it? The high street, and we go to Wilmslow.
Yeah.
Nothing's there.
No, there was a big difference. But my mum obviously lives in London and Joe's mum lives in Essex.
Yeah.
And they're both isolating at the moment.
Yeah. They're both on the vulnerable persons list.
So
Grab
we did,
the pod.
So we did a little road trip, didn't we? So we left in the morning, went to get the pie mash, and then we did deliveries, and then we sat in the garden with them both just for a visit, just to give them a little bit of company, which was quite nice. And luckily the weather was absolutely beautiful, so that was good. But they were really excited.
They never knew we were coming, did we?
No, so it was really nice.
And you can see that video on my Instagram, Sealey1. Follow me.
Oh, you're just so desperate, aren't you? What did that person call you? Thirsty?
Yeah, they called me Fame Thirsty, didn't they?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? A little bit.
I'll give them Fame Thirsty.
But no, that was nice. So we did that on Tuesday, didn't we? Tuesday, did we drive down?
I think so. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. Anyway, It was really easy. It was a nice drive, wasn't it? It was clear.
It was amazing. The drive was amazing. I've not done that because when I first moved up, you didn't have a lot of the average speed limits. And I used to get up quite often, go about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I've stopped doing that because you can't go that fast anyway.
You shouldn't be speeding.
I'm not speeding.
You are.
I never said I was speeding. What I said is the average speed of most of it is like 50 miles an hour when they've got the roadworks up. And it takes, whereas it might have taken me 3 hours, which is what we did it in this time, it's taking you closer to 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it's true.
So it was an absolute delight to drive, wasn't it? It was a nice, enjoyable drive. And it's not been like that for ages. So please, 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 when we get back to normal, can we not have those horrendous speed restrictions?
And you get tickets, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm a good girl. I don't know what you mean.
A couple of times I found my driver's licence in the post.
No, that is not true.
Like,
do not listen to him.
Nicole, where's my driver's licence in the post? And you're like, I've sent it off. You took my points.
No.
You're a dishonest person.
I mean,
I can't
there are
help
any
it,
policemen
Nicole.
listening.
You're giving
This
me the
is
eyes.
not true. My husband is an absolute shambles. Do you know what I mean? Just because I said it'd be you that had ended up in prison last week, you're just trying to get your own back on me.
I still don't know why you think I'd be in prison. I don't know what I'd do.
Because you make.
Well, I've got ideas like grab the pod.
I feel like you just make bad choices. You know, like when you have the little kid, I have a son like that as well. But, you know, just not that you're a bad person, you just make bad choices.
I want to know what crime.
It's like when you speak before you think.
What crime would I have committed?
The crime of stupidity.
I mean, I want to know what you think I would have done. What
I don't know.
Murder?
No. I don't know. Me sometimes. No, I think that you just like someone had come up with like a good idea, and you've just been, yeah, that's a good idea, and you just be going with it. And actually, in reality, it was not a good idea. Someone's like roped you into saying, "You're that kid at school, aren't you?" You know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Just get carried away with yourself. So
I don't think that's true.
That's my opinion, but you know.
I don't think that's true. Yeah, so we went to London, and today it was a nice day, wasn't it?
It was a nice day.
We left at 9 in the morning, and to be fair, we got back in about 9 at night.
We did, yeah. So we had So what else have we done this week? That's the problem with lockdown.
A few barbecues. Did a barbecue, didn't I? As well.
Yeah. I still not really cooked this week.
I might barbecue today.
Yeah, it sounds like I'll make the salad.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing that.
Clearly, the children only think I can make salad. So I did. What did I do this week? So yeah, I've done a couple of interviews as well.
Yep.
So that was fun, and it's always good fun when people throw like a little curveball in there.
Do you enjoy doing the interviews?
Yeah, I think I'm right at it because it's some of the questions are sometimes difficult. If they're aimed at other people, so you don't want to be. You can't always. It wouldn't be appropriate. Maybe if it was you, you'd just say it without thinking. I do try and think about what I'm saying and the impact on how that might impact the other person. So it's being mindful. So I feel like I've been mindful in my interviews.
I'm very considerate to others. I don't know. This opinion of me is like completely wrong.
You feel this is a bit warped?
Well, I feel like I think about everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And now it's going to benefit me.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I've done that, but it's quite strange actually. No filming.
Yeah. It's the first week you haven't. Isn't
first week of not doing any filming. So that's been different and actually quite nice to have a little bit of a relax. So I think it's been quite a relaxing week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been quite a relaxing week. Now I did have something to bring.
What?
And I had some eyelashes and I left them.
What, for the product?
For the product.
Right, so Last week, Nicole told me on Thursday she had 5 products coming.
They haven't arrived.
Right, for this podcast.
What can I do?
This morning, there's fuck all. Right?
Oh, I did. I've got some eyelashes.
She told me I was having afternoon tea on this podcast, you told me.
Where is
right?
it? It was supposed to come Sunday. It didn't come. Right? That's obviously a shit product.
Yeah, so...
It didn't arrive.
I've got no product to review. Do you know what? I was offering to review these products for free.
Clearly,
Right?
people don't want
your
your opinion.
And I was told I should be charging about $2,000.
Yeah.
So
I have
you've
got
really
them.
missed that, because next week I'm charging.
No. I've got them. They're just because of the postal, I think. But it's just then because we didn't realise it was bank holiday.
What's that got to do with
I
it?
know, it was still a little bit late.
It's been a week. You told me on Thursday.
Yeah, I know, but
I could have went and bought something and reviewed it.
Go on, what have you... Well, go on then. What you could review the pie mash?
The pie mash is absolutely amazing.
So what made this pie mash stand out?
Well, we've not had it. We can't get it in the north, can you?
No, and
so we don't have it as often as we'd
like.
like.
And I really feel that someone should open a pie... Not me. I don't want to open a pie mash shop, but someone out there definitely needs to open a proper
Well, you've got the
traditional...
Great Northern Pie Company.
Yeah, well, why doesn't he do a pie mash then? Let's speak
I've
to
sent
Neil.
it to Neil before, but it's not... People don't want it here. But I dropped to 2 of my friends, Phil the Cupcake and Simon. I dropped the pie mash to them on the way back the day after, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because they've never had it before, and they both liked it.
They did.
So yeah, and do you know what I like about it? So I said, we bought 20 pie mash, and it's £50.
Yeah.
Right, that ain't bad. That's 20 meals. That.
Yeah.
That was £2.50.
Not for you. Not for you because you like free pie.
I ate 5.
Well, to be fair, no, I'm not. We're not going to lie, because although to be fair, Joe had got me, because I've been on this 0 fat diet.
Yeah.
It goes to show it's making. So anyone that has a dodgy gallbladder, if you do stick to the 0 fat diet, it makes an unbelievable difference.
Yeah, in the last few days you haven't, and you started to feel a bit ill, weren't you?
Well, Joe had got me, which was really nice. So on the Monday, obviously, before we did, actually no, it was the Sunday, in the evening we'd had a Chinese, and then obviously we had pie mash on the Tuesday. By Wednesday I was not feeling good, but we were a bit greedy because we went to one parent and had pie mash, and actually it was me that was like, well, should we have another one when we got to
So I had 3 pie mash from my mum, and then I had 2 with your mum.
You did. I don't think I had quite that quantity.
So actually, and I had pie mash because I took it home. So I had it the day after. I probably ate 10 pies.
Yeah. And then you wonder why you feel stodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we spoke about weight loss last week, didn't we?
So how's that going this week?
Yeah, right. Well, I ate 10 pies. I just had a chocolate bar.
And I literally know the truth. So are you going to be honest about the weight? Was there a weight loss or was there a weight gain?
I think I'm the same. I didn't weigh myself when I might be a pound down. I've not been great. I've nearly had, for the first week, we've not had a lot of takeaways since this started.
No, not
probably
at all.
3 or 4.
Because I was a bit concerned about.
Yeah. And you know, you've got nothing else to do. We might as well cook, and I like cooking. So,
well, are you going to ask me? Are you going to ask me?
This week I've had Chinese.
No, he's not going to ask me.
Pie and mash. Couple of sandwiches.
Steak meal.
Steak and mash.
Sushi.
I've been terrible.
I've lost £2. Just pointing it out
there. It's been horrendous.
I've lost £2, and you're just ignoring that, aren't you?
Yeah, but you don't want to talk. You don't want to say how much you weighed last week.
No, but I'm still saying to you. No,
I now know how much you weighed.
But I'm not sharing that.
I am.
Huh?
8 stone 9.
No, yeah, but around that. Well, yeah, 8, 9, 8, 10. So yeah, fluctuating.
To be
around.
fair, it's low. You don't necessarily lose any more weight, I don't think.
Yeah, well, the target is 8 stone. To be fair, so you know where I'm at.
No, I don't think. I think that's too light.
I'm only short.
Yeah, I know, but 8 stone is like it's nothing of you. Like, you know,
I was less than that when I met you.
Yeah, but you was younger.
All right, don't rub it in. Weren't we all younger?
Well, exactly. It's
not
harder
going to
now,
be 40
isn't it?
soon.
Yeah, I know. A couple more years.
I think men. I think like you. I feel like you've had a little bit of a midlife crisis the last year or so. So I think that all of a sudden, would you agree with that?
No,
bit?
I'm bought a car. I don't dye my hair.
I know. You were talking about Botox, which I've
I'm on the fence with this.
No,
Nicole,
absolutely.
I'm on the fence. And then someone told me last week you can have baby Botox, and I thought, oh, on my forehead.
Please don't.
I'm half considering it.
No.
It's
a downward spiral. I just don't think you would look right with like a smooth forehead. I like your wrinkles.
Yeah, I've got wrinkles on my forehead.
It's because you frown. It's because you frown upwards, I frown in between my eyes. You frown across you. Luckily, I don't frown upwards, so I don't really have that many. I've got a few, but they're probably not as deep as yours, to be fair.
No. So it's the only thing I consider. I'm never going to dye my hair. I haven't got any grey hair at the minute anyway.
No,
I've
you're
got a
quite
bit of a
lucky.
beard
Yeah, I don't wonder why that is. Do you know why some men?
because I'm getting older.
No, but why the beard and not the hair? Because I don't think you may have like 1 or 2 grey hairs. You've actually got no grey hair,
No.
but your beard is going quite grey. I mean, what are you going to do about that? You're going to have a white beard and black hair.
Obviously, I'm not going to dye it, and now I'm feeling very self-conscious about it.
But you've got something. I wonder because you've also got, if you don't mind me saying,
Go
you've
on.
got vitiligo, haven't you?
I have.
Not a lot of people know that.
No, not a lot of people know that. And what that is what Michael Jackson said he didn't have. So I've got bits of my body that don't change colour. So they're really white. The hairs are white.
Do you know what I've noticed though?
I've got one above my eye.
Yeah, but that's gone really red. You know, I've never noticed that before. But where you've been in the sun, it's gone actually pink.
And do you know what? The other day, someone on Instagram said to me, "Why are you wearing mascara or eyeshadow?" Right? And I didn't think anything of it. And then I realised they're saying it because of that.
Because of your patch.
Yeah. So
But,
basically, the skin pigmentation dies. Basically, is what it is. And I've had it since I got it when I was about 12. On my knees, my elbows, and my ankles. And I went to the doctors, and they're like, "You can't get rid of this. It's either going to get bigger or smaller."
Yeah.
Really, and most probably bigger. Actually, mine's got smaller. I haven't got it on my ankles anymore.
No.
My knees have got a lot smaller.
Oh, you got a little patch on your willy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a bit of it right in the middle of it.
I just, you were saying about all the other areas, but
I know, I was going to say that.
And I
ain't got a problem. You can tell people I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered though. I'm not.
no, but do you know what? It's quite a subject. Like for you, you're quite lucky that it's actually not that bad, is it?
No.
But I mean, some people, and
Yeah, you see some people with it
like
really
when you were 12, like when you're told, I know you're a boy, so
it was a while
potentially,
ago.
it's quite stressful, isn't it? So anyone that is out there that but you were lucky that. I mean, I don't know, are there any treatments for it?
No, they give me stuff when I was a kid, like this, the creams or whatever. But there's nothing you can do. It's basically the colour cells die.
But I was just thinking, like, for sort of the young girls and that, like, I mean, obviously, this is really great. And I can't think of her surname, but there's like a supermodel called Winnie, and she's got it. But I mean, she's earning fortunes.
Well, I've not earned no money out of it.
No, exactly. Could you try a bit harder?
Oh, yeah. If there's anyone out there that wants to sell a cream.
But no, she's been an amazing advocate for it. She is like, I mean, obviously top of her game, and she has it very, very severely. But if you notice that when she models, she doesn't cover it. I mean, she just accentuates it, and she's very beautiful, and so are you.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of the things. I think for boys it's a lot easier than it is for women. But I think when you're young, it was a worry for my parents as well, because it was like, well, you can't do it. I think it's probably going to spread.
Yeah.
I've just been lucky. You see a lot of Asian people with it.
Oh, really?
A lot. Yeah.
Is it the statistics?
Yeah, there's more in the Asian community, and so I see people all the time with it on their faces, and I'm lucky because some people have it half of their face, and it does look a bit oof. Do you know what I mean? But I know what it is.
Yeah.
I said to somebody last year, I've got that.
But I'm just wondering if that's anything to do with where you've got these patches on.
No, because the skin's not a different colour.
Although I have but I am going pretty grey. I went grey after I'd had chemo. My hair I had this patch that came back completely white here, which is like, what do you call it?
She's talking about the top of her head.
Yeah. What's the
Cow's lick?
The little cow's lick. But on the Addams Family, is it the Addams Family where she had the? Oh no, Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. She had the little strap.
You are like Cruella de Vil.
All the dogs are still alive in the house. Just. Well, yeah, because they were driving me potty this morning, barking.
Yeah, someone locked them out.
Oh, God. One of the children have got up and literally let the dogs out.
I think it's
left them out there. Joey, no, can you just yap. But you've got to go all the way down to the bottom of the house, but you did go and let them in the end. I
did say they was locked out. Only one of the dogs barks though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I felt really actually bad for the neighbours, because I think they were trying to. You looked out the window.
Do you know what was funny this morning though? Because I shouted at the window, "Shut up," didn't I? And then I see the neighbours are in the jacuzzi next door.
Oh yeah, like you were shouting.
I shouted at the
Were
window.
they naked?
I didn't look. I thought, I bet they think.
Because that would have been really awkward, wouldn't it? They were having a skinny dip.
I was naked as I was shouting out the window though.
Yeah. Oh, I've noticed the other day that I've stopped doing it, because we've got like quite a big glass front at the house, and our dressing rooms sort of go across the open part, and quite often it's like I'm like the morning streaker. And then you did say to me, we have got big trees and stuff, but you did say to me the other day, and one of the kids said, Mum, you can see you running around naked. But just putting it out there, don't all drive past my house, because I have stopped doing it. I don't streak any longer. That ship has sailed. But no, and then I've been in the bathroom the other day, and I hadn't realised there was builders at the back.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like naked in the bathroom, but obviously not shut the windows.
My teeth and I'm looking
I don't know what they were doing, but turned around and looked straight in the bathroom. Probably scarred them for life, to be fair. But
So like last week we said we were going to have guests on, right? And then Nicole, because like she's thinks she's a celebrity now and things like that, got a phone call from the TV show that she's on, and got some advice basically.
Well, yeah.
And I think it's good advice. I actually think it is. So what they said is we need to
get to know us.
Yeah, you need to get to know us, and then we'll have a guest on in 5 or 6 weeks. Otherwise, you're just interviewers. You just present as it's not about you.
So that's why it's not because we couldn't get one.
So you got no product, no guest, because it was your week.
Yeah, it was okay. But I've got 4-5 things coming. They've not arrived. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it now.
But it's interesting because when you talk about products, after our podcast last week, I had some people sending me ideas.
Oh, okay.
Right. One of them I got really into. I started Googling it and like telling him why it wasn't going to work. Right. So his idea was, what's the thing you put in the dog's neck?
A chip.
The chip, right? There's not one with a GPS on it.
I'm surprised. I can't believe
there's a reason.
Ah.
Right. So I thought, what a great idea. It must be out there. Anyway, I Googled it. It don't exist.
Why?
A couple of reasons. One, the technology for GPSs are too big.
Oh, it won't fit in the neck.
Well, you could do a bit of proper like cut. And the second point is you have to have a battery for GPS to work, and you can't have a battery in your dog.
Right.
And that's the reason it won't work. Oh. So I did advise him that maybe you should get in contact with people that make technology. Maybe that tech's already out there, the two pieces, get licenses and put them together. But then I started thinking, well, would it be better to have it where the dog swallows it instead?
I don't know about that. Well, like a balloon when they do.
Oh, yeah, but I couldn't work out how would you make it stay inside them so it won't come out, when they go to the toilet or whatever. So that was the product I was sent. So it was a stinker because it can't happen. But actually, in theory, I thought it was a really good idea. And I said to him after, you should keep going because, it's always good to keep trying. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't, if you get a bad answer the first time or, fail, it doesn't mean it's over, does it? No. What are you doing on your computer?
Well, I was getting the information that you'd asked me for.
For what?
I was just getting it up ready. Well, for your haters section.
Oh, do you want to do... They hate us because they ain't us, Nicole. Yeah. We want to do that now?
We can do, why not? Because you're moaning that I'm touching my laptop because I've broken
really off-putting. It's so off-putting.
I've broken my phone, so I've had to bring my laptop in. So I've had no phone for a whole day, which has been I'm quite enjoying it now. So I'm going to have to see if I'm going to have to ring the bank to see if I can get a replacement, which I am a little bit stressed about because I'm thinking, am I going to be able to get a replacement that quickly? So being without
there must be a spare phone in the house.
There isn't. Literally only broken ones. That's all there is. And last time we replaced one, I thought, oh yeah, we've got a spare phone in the house, but then I remembered one of the children nabbed it, which was Luca, wasn't it? She nicked it, that's why. So yeah, no, so that's why I've got this.
They hate us because they ain't us. What you got?
Well, so to be fair, up until this morning, I actually had quite a positive week. I was thinking, I haven't really had anything mean. But I wake up this morning and the programme have obviously posted, which I thought was quite funny. So I make a bit of a one-liner, which... just as you do. I think I put on there, I only stay in suites when the penthouse is unavailable, in reference to something that Rachel said. So anyway, I've had a little bit of people being a bit mean this morning.
Go on then.
So apparently I'm not trustworthy. So I'm not trustworthy. This one I thought was a little bit mean. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. I mean, how rude. How rude. I don't think this person, though, I've noticed it's been quite mean to me a few times. So
the same person?
I think this person's a bit of a hater. And then Oh, and this actually made me laugh. Another one said that I should be on The Only Way Is Essex. Now, I kind of took that as a compliment because I think I'm a little bit old to be on The Only Way Is Essex. But, you know, so if they think I'm going to fit in with the hotties on The Only Way Is Essex, I'm all for that.
I don't watch that show.
No, I haven't watched it in years.
But that's made by the same production company as your show, right?
No, I don't think
Monkey.
it's Lime, isn't it?
Oh, is it Lime?
Yeah. So I don't think it is.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
so
it is.
So they're the enemy.
And
Your lot making Chelsea,
obviously our show is obviously superior. But no, it did make me laugh.
You don't win awards.
Well, we
No.
we might this year.
Fact.
We might this year.
That show's not won awards.
I think it has. I believe it did win an award. So
Mainly Chelsea has.
Well, they make that as well, don't they?
They do, yeah.
So well done. Hopefully we'll get
the production company, Monkey Kingdom, are, I think, been fantastic actually.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, so you were talking about my haters. So not really. So I did respond back to one of them this morning.
What would you say?
Because they were calling me a mean girl, you know, like from Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
So I put, well, I wasn't mean at school, and I'm not mean to people now. So, but I do believe it's important to stand up for yourself. And just hope that they enjoy. I hope that they start to see a little bit of both sides of me. I say the Northern crossover sometimes my humour has been a bit lost, but on the whole, last week I had lots of very positive, and people were really getting my humour, which I was really pleased about, because when I say stuff off the cuff like I do to you, you know I'm not meaning it. And most of the girls, I'm thinking the show do get my humour. So yeah, that was quite funny. And I'd put on Seema does great impersonations.
I saw that.
When we eventually do have guests, I'm going to make her come and do a comedy slot because she's amazing at it. So she was doing a bit of a takeoff, and we were literally walking in the park when we were away, and we just filmed it for a giggle. I didn't know what she was going to come out with. She's basically taking the piss out of me, but it's fine. But she's so funny. So I'd put them. People were really loving that. But yeah. So the other one was I've got one here. Can't cope with this loud sour piece. But not really anything that personal. Just they don't like me. But it's fine.
I think it's really strange though that people take their own time to write stuff like it. I don't get it.
Do you know
really
what?
don't.
Do you know what I found quite strange? But I've actually got used to it. So people sort of coming up to you now is quite.
Yeah.
So which is really nice. No one's abused me yet personally, face to face. I've only had that like through social media. Everybody who's spoken to me and come up to me have been really lovely. Now although I've had a couple of messages when I've gone for my walk in the park and people saying that they've seen me. But if you've seen me, just come say hi to me.
You've had a few messages saying, I saw you in the park, do you want to talk to you?
Yeah, so I'm happy. Come speak to me. Obviously, socially distancing. I don't want any germs.
What's happened at the park, Cars Park in Wilmslow near us, is that the cafe's opened and there's an ice cream van, and it's like you're 16 again and you hang around the park.
I didn't hang around the park.
I sit on the benches down there. I had breakfast down there.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of people floating about.
Yeah, so
they must be making a fortune.
You see. I like this one though. So one of the comments that I did get that I like, she says she absolutely loves me and she takes no prisoners. And
no, we don't want to read the good ones.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying there's a few good ones in there. Have you had any hate this week?
You'll know because you search for it. I don't. Right, so have I had any?
I haven't looked. Then no one's even commented. I mean, that's more disappointing.
I'm not really featuring that, am I?
I mean, I'd be more worried that you'd no comments at all.
Do you know what happened? Let's see what did happen though last week. Last week when your show was on, I was on Instagram and somebody followed me. And I don't normally do this. I clicked on it. And it was a funny name. It had brackets and a second name. So I clicked on it, and it said this was it said something like, "This is my husband's account. He died."
Oh yeah, that's quite sad.
Yeah, last year, and I didn't want to let it go. And I thought I'll message her. Right, so I messaged her. Just read your bio. Really sorry. Do you know what I mean? Type of thing. She started communicating with me. It turns out she's got 2 kids. They've moved to Somerset, and he died last year. And it ain't nice, but
because you'd sort of been there
I've experienced that. So I told her that. So not everyone will know that my dad died when I was 18. Do you know what I mean? So I told her that, and I told her that I struggled with it, and it was important that the kids communicate. I think is the important thing for me. That's the thing I didn't do, and I wish I did, because I think that holding it in, especially for boys, she said a boy doesn't, and I said, well, I understand that, probably because it was me, my brother, and my mum, and I was the eldest, and you think I got to look after my mum, and you don't.
Yeah, so it's just giving something back. So
Yeah,
even
and that's
if it's,
nice.
So that's quite nice.
It's all nice and good getting free stuff and, the stuff that don't turn up so I can do my product reviews, but that stuff is actually more important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you can tell that how much that meant to that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She said she cried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's not a big deal. If you need anything,
Unfortunately,
if you need a video from Nicole to the kids or whatever, just let me know.
Well, that would definitely make them laugh. I could, I'll
You get a few of them, though, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I said to you, I think we said last week, say stuff like with someone, if you just help them a little bit. So by doing what I'm doing, some good comes of it. Oh, I'm losing my voice then, but at least I'm not saying this week. Has my been better this week?
Yeah, it has been better.
I was like, consciously, I am not to this week. So, right, okay, so what are the plans now? I mean, it's very difficult, isn't it, to talk about, because you're not doing half as much as you usually are.
No, I mean,
you're only sort of having one cup of coffee in the park, Joe, opposed to, meeting up with 10 different people. So,
usually
you'd have lots to discuss.
Well, I've got that gossip part of my life, have I, at the minute?
I don't know. You played poker.
I played poker with my friends Friday and last night.
And so loud in the house, I can't even tell you.
We have such a good time. I mean, I've known these people most of my adult life.
You played last night, didn't you?
Same group of friends, yeah. Played last night. But we play every Friday. Well, we've played every Friday for the last 6 weeks. Obviously, and actually, it's the best point of my week. I love it.
Obviously on Zoom.
Yeah, it's on Zoom. We live some people live in America now.
Yeah.
It's on Zoom and 88poker.com, I think. And
you plug in for 888 now. They're not even paying you.
I know,
Thought you didn't do stuff for free.
Trying to get a mention. 10,000 listeners last week.
Very good, very good.
I think. I don't know. So I did that, and we played till. Well, we start at 8, and we played till 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I think I stopped at 2 this week. I was tired.
You falling asleep, weren't you?
I was tired this week, and I weren't drinking, and a couple of them were really pissed, and it's funny. Some of it's funny, but it slows the game down because they're not concentrating.
But it's a bit hard when one's fallen asleep on the sofa.
Oh, it's so funny when he did that.
And then you said they were abusing each other because they all grew up on the same street, didn't they? So without obviously names or anything like that, you was like, it was just, you could come up literally laughing. You'd had the funniest
some of the stories that, we had one of them's...
Don't mention their names.
No, so the guy that lives in America, as I said, do you remember that when that happened when your mum cheated on your dad? Found that.
And they come in the house.
I was in the house.
He was like...
I was round your house and you had to go downstairs. Sorry, I'm laughing. You had to go downstairs and say, can you stop arguing with my friends here?
They were just like coming out with it, you said.
No, you shouldn't laugh at that, but it was so funny. I mean...
But that's when
crying.
That's when you know that you're really good friends. Yeah. So, and I think this is where sometimes Joe can go a bit wrong, because as I've said before, you think everybody's your friend. So things that you might say to people when you've known them for like 20 years, Joe thinks he can say that to you when he's known you for 5 minutes. Now, sometimes that falls. I do
apologise if I offend people. Yeah.
You don't mean.
I apologise, but I do think fucking get over it. But do you know what I mean? People can say what they like to me. I do not get offended.
But we've had this conversation this week that I was saying to Joe that because it's really impossible to offend Joe. Really, is impossible to offend you. But other people are a bit more sensitive, and you never would say anything to be spiteful. It's just some people do take offence. So it's learned. I don't know if you're going to ever learn that by the time you're 37. I think it's just the way it is now. But yeah, so he'll treat you, but that means that you're friends. That's what I kind of think. So if he's just insulting you or offending you, it means that he likes you. Probably.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree with it. Yeah. It means I've got some time for you, and I won't have a laugh.
Yeah.
I know. I'll say some shocking things to people. I do.
Yeah.
Right. I do. But I don't mean
not the most PC always. I was a bit nervous about doing the programme. Not that he even means it, but it just comes out with classics.
I said something in the card, didn't I, about the Pope being a pedo and a cut, didn't I?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. She's giving me the eyes now, but stuff like that comes out of my mouth.
It's fine. Edit. Beep. I might just have a buzzer. Beep when you go to say something.
But I don't mean it.
No, you don't.
It's done in a playful manner.
But it's difficult in this day
I'm
and
not a
age.
very serious person. I'm not.
No.
I'm not a person that takes things seriously.
No.
I really don't. Most things in life, I don't.
I mean, and you know what? We even people that sort of first know us. I mean, and the things you sometimes say to me, like I think some women would be genuinely. I just have thick skin. I'd obviously have had to be.
Give me an example. What have I said to you?
No, but you just generally come out with stuff.
Well, say. What
about when we first were together and we were looking at a house? I'd forgotten about this. So we're walking around this. She's quite a well-to-do lady, showing us this property, and then he just comes out with things like, he's going, yeah. So we can go get ourselves one of those, them young, fit Swedish au pairs because the kids were younger, but he's talking along like he's really serious. And he was being quite derogatory actually. And this poor woman.
Sex swing.
Yeah, it did have a sex swing, didn't it?
Who's looking around it?
And I said, yeah, she did, didn't it? I'd forgotten about that. Was it Abridge? Not Abridge.
No, it was out past Brentwood Way. It was out further.
But it was this poor woman was absolutely, she was listening to what he's saying. And he obviously didn't mean what he might have meant what he was saying, but we didn't get one. And she looked absolutely horrified. And at the end, when we leave, she sort of pulls me to one side and she went, oh, she said, you're so lovely. She said, I wouldn't normally, I don't want to speak out of turn. She said, but how do you put up with that? And she was like, but you could see she was mortified, absolutely mortified.
And that's why she's selling houses and I'm fucking buying them.
Oh, you're such a knob.
I'll tell you what is a good story though, right? I want you to tell this story. So your mum reminded me the other day.
Yeah, okay.
So Nicole's mum, I'm going to get her on this eventually.
She's quite funny.
Because her mum is funny, right? Yeah. She is. So tell them about the neighbour.
Okay, so in life, people can be very judgmental, as we've said from obviously our little haters section. Yeah. So, you should never, I do believe you should never judge a book by its cover. But there are always going to be people like that. Anyway, my mum lives in East London in one of the townhouses. And there was a young sort of, they would have been yuppies in the 80s. I don't know what the equivalent is now. But anyway, he kind of looking down on her a little bit is what she said, sort of ignored her most of the time and a little bit like, she just, that's the feeling she got, really no time for her, bit judgy. Anyway, I go round to see my mum, but obviously my sister lives quite close by, so I hadn't seen this guy before, because I'm not in and out. I'm a bad daughter. I do ring though. But anyway, so the guy sees me pull up. Anyway, when I leave, he says to my mum, oh, is that your other daughter? So she says, oh yeah, it's my other daughter. And he went, oh, that's a really nice car that she's driving.
It was a courtesy car though,
it was a courtesy car. And anyway,
it was a Porsche Turbo.
It was the new Porsche
Turbo.
Yeah. And so she said, oh, actually no, it's a hire car. So she went to him. Oh, so so he said, oh, what does she actually drive? So she then turned around and said, a Ferrari. But apparently his face. But this is the classic. This is my mum for you. So he then proceeds to be very interested. Yeah. Superficial twat. Starts to become really, really interested in my mum and what I did. So he says to her, what does your daughter do for a living? And to that, my mother, with a dead straight face, turns around and says, a prostitute. So now the neighbour thinks I'm a prostitute.
Yeah, he's moved now.
He has moved.
Because I asked her.
Yeah, so he still thinks I'm a prostitute because obviously never corrected him. Yeah. But she said his face was a picture. I don't think he spoke to her again, no.
And that's why your mum's got to come on, because your mum is funny.
I mean, she tells me I should smoke weed as well. I mean, that, just to calm myself down, doesn't she?
To be honest, when we went round there last week, right, smelt of weed.
My mum's 70.
I said to her,
next year.
Have you been smoking that
you did say that to her. I'm like, my mum.
did smell, but she sat the upstairs.
I think one of the neighbours maybe is. So she looked quite relaxed. I think she had the window open. But no, my mum's got COPD, so she's definitely not smoking weed. No. But she says, because I'm a little bit uptight and a bit of a control freak, I think that she just thought maybe some space cakes would chill me out. She's probably right. But no, what I was trying to get at is that people are quite judgy, aren't they? And you know what? It doesn't matter how you make your money, what you've got or what you haven't got. But he was just.
Do you know what I found in life? I don't know whether it's because I've got older and I don't care as much, or as you've got more, you care less. So when I didn't have anything, I would always want a nice car or a nice watch.
When have you not had anything? You're the most spoiled person ever.
Right. I've never not had anything.
He doesn't know what going hungry is, this boy.
I've never not had anything, right? Not that. But what I'm saying is, when I weren't, a millionaire, right? Let's say that word, right? I don't like that word. But I
personally prefer billionaire, but
when I weren't wealthy, I think I want that car, I want that watch, and as I've got it really, and I can buy what I want now within reason. I don't want it. I'm not bothered. I've had the same car for 5 years. It's 7 years old. My car.
People were quite judgy about that.
Someone said to me, "They change the car," and I was like, "No."
People are actually quite judgy. I've only just changed.
She's got a fucking new Bentley. So
yeah, I know, but I've only just changed it, and I had my car for 4 years. So
you had a Ferrari, though, Nicole, as well.
I still had it for 4 years.
I'm looking about the 7-year-old Range Rover. I'm one of the people.
Yeah, no.
I think we're running for local MP.
No, can you imagine the things you come out with? God, we'd be in the paper every week, and it wouldn't be for good
Loads
things.
Of bangs. What do you want, an extension? $5,000. Come around my house on Saturday.
No, but you're a disgrace. You really are. God.
Actually, do you know what? I contacted my local MP this week.
You did actually. Well, no, don't. She's not our local MP anymore. I keep telling you that.
No, she is.
She's the transport.
Esther McVeigh. No, she was. She's not that. She is our local MP. So, one of the businesses is having problems getting the furlough through because 2 codes that are on Stage and the HMRC system were ran the wrong way. So it's been changed, but you've now got to wait for a tech to sort it out.
It's a long process. So awful.
It's been going on since the 25th of March, right? But I think I'm near the end of it now. Anyway, they said to me last week, contact your MP. So I contacted them, and actually she sent her email and she did it. We did have a meeting with her once.
Yeah, it's nice.
I really liked her.
She was like quite all for new businesses and stuff like that. Is when we obviously first started Neon. So quite supportive in that way. Let's just see if this gets resolved. Yeah. But it's very difficult. I mean, if you've got anything going on with HMRC at the moment, the process and understandably is incredibly. I mean, I'll be honest with you, in our accounts department, totally their fault. The code that's for the individual and the code for the company were inputted the wrong way round and hadn't been flagged up. So each month the money basically gets paid in, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just obviously sits in They just keep it. You know what you got to love though? They don't tell you that they've got your money and it's not gone anywhere. But anyway, hopefully it'll be resolved. But they have been quite supportive, but the process is extremely. We're in quite a good position that it hasn't. Obviously, I've
still paid the people, actually.
Yeah, but personally, but if we'd have been relying only on that.
I'd be shut. I'd be big trouble.
Been big trouble. The guys would not have been paid.
Yeah.
So the backlog we've loaned it back to, But anyway, it's difficult. So, but I suppose hopefully this week it'll be resolved. But there's lots of things, that they're having to deal with. It's unknown for them. The sheer volume is just huge. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and I think the problem is just like anything when you call the phone number. Yeah. Someone that answers the phone might not be the person that you need or the person that can solve that problem. You can't get through to the people you actually need, and people are just answering phones. It's their job. I guess they're in the call centre. I think it's Salford, isn't it?
So, yeah, I think so. Also, right, so should we talk a little bit about football?
I'm actually, in the middle of this podcast, which should be now.
So that's what
I'm meant to be on Talksport, but they ain't rung me.
Yeah, they've obviously
coming in, because something's going on at the minute with it, because I've had a Stilk FM on the phone Saturday about it.
I did Silk FM, but I'm on every day. How many days are you on?
5 days a week you're on. I just did a little segment when football was on yesterday. I mean, I've got a funny feeling that this Macclesfield Town thing is going to get kicked back up at the minute. But, I'm getting phone calls, from Jim White today about it. And
so you're going to do, you're supposed to be doing Talksport.
I don't know whether it's happening or not, but, let's talk football.
Yeah, let's talk football, because everyone's asking questions. What I'll say is we can't, talk too much in depth about obviously the deal itself or the non-deal. They're not supposed because we signed an NDA. Talksport. So hold that thought. We'll come back in a minute. We're back now. Then
we're back. So just done Talksport. Football. Talking about football.
Are you having another name drop? Trying to get a bit more.
Jim White. Yeah.
Hi, Jim.
Danny Murphy and Natalie Sawyer. And apparently they've just had the Huddersfield Town owner on saying they're going out of business. So. Our son played for that. Was at that football club.
Yeah.
And football at the minute is like a lot of businesses, it's going to be hit hard because a lot of that revenue is people sitting in the stadium.
They've only just sold. It's quite an interesting one because obviously our son has been at Huddersfield. Yeah. It's finishing second year scholar, and obviously before. The big changes when he'd literally just gone there, hadn't he? When he first signed from United, and basically it was there obviously 6 months, and then they pulled everybody because they made the big change to go like Brentford, didn't they?
They got rid of the academy.
So basically, and to be fair, I'll openly say you were very unsure. It was our son's choice that he wanted us stay there. But anyway, they literally got everybody in a room, and it was quite horrific. They literally was horrific.
It was 200 parents, weren't it?
And from all age groups. They took them to the stadium, sat everybody down, and basically said, we're letting every single player go up to the under 16s. Yeah. Now, for the time for the under 16s was obviously getting their first year scholars was a massive blow. Luckily, I think all of the kids from that team went on and got other clubs, but they did call back anyway. He was re-offered a scholarship you had to go and play Sunday morning for a few months via the crossover, which he quite enjoyed, and it was quite good fun, wasn't it? But anyway, the long and the short of it is it was a big blow. You really weren't that for it, because you were worried about how things would go.
Well, we didn't know I said to him, look, it's the first year they're doing it. You can't see how they're going to run that. If it was a few years and you could see the old ages above, you could. But it's not worked out well for him, actually.
But all right. But as a parent, you don't want to say, I told you so, do you? But, it's just life.
I did tell him so.
You did, but kids have to learn, we hopefully make our children make their own decisions, and that's all we can do as parents. But you can advise, but you can't make them, they're adults. But going back to that, it was an interesting deal at the time. We discussed it, didn't we? Because they're friends, aren't they? The new owner of friends.
And Dean Hoyle.
He's done an amazing. Dean had done an amazing job there, but it was an interesting deal, I believe. They obviously were very good friends.
He sold a lot of players as well, didn't he?
So basically, how this might not be right, but how I interpret it certainly is when the deal was done. Basically, he almost got all of his money back. So it's almost like he bought the club with its own money. Yeah. And that's how it looks to me. I don't know that for a fact. No. That is my interpretation.
Which is nothing wrong with that, though.
No, but you're always then, if that is the case and there are not additional, certainly in Championship and Premier League, if you've basically bought the club with its own funds, which in effect, because Dean does own part of it still, you're really on the back foot if you hit anything dodgy. Now, no one could predict that this was going to happen with COVID, but actually, if they did do that, this to me syncs perfectly with what we thought had happened, because now if you haven't got an extra abundance of money, you can't now support that club. I mean, obviously with the building works, I mean, they're starting to, even obviously Remy's finishing this season, but putting all the new ground in place, we thought that Huddersfield might have a problem. So that's really interesting that's just come up.
We don't know the guy that bought it. And I know he owns a company called Fantastic Media, and I don't really know how much money he's got, but it come across to me like he couldn't afford it. Now, when I say not afford it, but there was a difference between Dean Hoyle worth 300-400 million, sinking money in, because I think he's worth.
And he ran it as a great business, I have to say. I think he's done a really good job.
They were efficient, and then it got taken over, and it just felt like way, because they let a lot of their best players' assets go quickly and bought no one in. I mean, I think they something like 40 million in player sales, and spent 200 grand. It was like ridiculous. They weren't no one coming. So, but that's his decision. And you know what? If I was buying something and I could get my money back quick, I would. So.
Well, it's just it was a business transaction. Is what it looked like. But he's a supporter, the guy. So don't.
He was a sponsor. He was the sponsor. He sponsored the stadium.
But that's quite sad.
And in the other, so that's just been told me. But Talksport. So the reason they rang me was Macclesfield Town again. So, the supporters' trust, and this is something I can talk about, because it's not come from me. They said it on the radio. I paid the players 10 grand, right, to pay the wages, which I'm only going to presume is something that was missed a couple of months ago, or a top up of the 80%, because they are on furlough. So
he's entitled to just pay him at 80%. So he's not. I think it's really, really easy for people to judge. Now, this isn't anything to do with the deal. This is just business person to business person. If the club clearly is struggling, like it was struggling anyway, right? So, potentially there hasn't been funds available. So what I have to say is, in his position at the moment, I know that, the players, and I know that obviously the fans, it'd be great to see that they could pay the top up, but you've got to remember they've been struggling they've been struggling anyway. And what the end goal needs to be is, they're obviously in quite a lot of debt. So the target should be to reduce debt down and make the club in a position that they can carry on.
Let me ask you a question. So you're on furlough.
Yeah.
Right, your contract runs out.
when your
Do you still
contract
get-
run, no, when your
So you're
contract,
just not getting paid?
so well,
Or
yeah,
are you still under government furlough?
no, because I think I'm
Because the contracts are going to run out this month.
don't quote me on it, but I would assume that if you're just on a period of contract, I don't do, obviously it's slightly different, but say if I've got someone on a 3-month contract for a period of time, when that runs out, that's what you were contracted to. I don't think you would be obliged to continue that forward.
I mean, if you
But
do
I
the
don't-
right thing, you do month-to-month extensions
Well,
to
I
make
think-
sure people still got paid.
I think a lot
because-
of clubs are, aren't they? With the young ones, we're talking about they're going to pay them for an extra 3 months.
yeah.
I know Hull are doing it and a few
Yeah,
other
extending
clubs.
players' contracts.
But, after that 3 months, potentially they're just honouring where they've had the furlough. It's
But
added
now
on.
you're seeing if this is true about Huddersfield Town, for example, and the problem at Charlton as well, right?
Yeah.
So and Macclesfield, and it's not.
Well, your
it's-
friend's the assistant manager there,
Yeah,
isn't he?
half the clubs below the Premier League will have problems. It's happening quickly. Players are going to be let go and not be paid, and not be able to get new clubs because people are going to pay them a lot less in salaries.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a big difference, and there's going to be a lot of players available.
Do you know what? It's a terrible situation across everything in
Yeah.
life. But we're looking at it as parents. If you look at these youngsters now, especially for the ones that are just about to become first year pros, horrendous situation. Not only are they now gonna struggle to find new clubs because these clubs are going to be able to pick up already pros for peanuts basically,
money,
for half the money. They haven't got to really invest. They could pick up one who's just come from United, say, for next to nothing. And they're talking about this system about the 23s all being able to go out and play. They're literally killing it. If, like, say for our son, I mean, we was obviously looking, and there's many people we know out there, many people. These kids have been playing football since they were. No, I know Remy's been at a club since he was 7 years old, and he's just about to turn 18. So you've spent all of those years, and now maybe through no fault of your own, you may not get that opportunity, and there's going to be thousands of kids out there.
If you look at it from not a football point of view or a fan's point of view and a business point of view, right? And this is me saying this, right? And I'm big on kids football, right?
Yeah.
I'd get rid of the reserves and the academy.
And I think that's
would, at the minute, because I'd look at it and go, well,
Gotta
for
make them
example, I know Bolton, right? For example, played in the reserves, play away, cost that club $4 or $5 grand.
The only-
right? And that's
yeah.
without wages.
But the only thing I could say,
speaking.
I know, but the only thing I could say on that, Joe, is that depending on what is tiered down. So I think this is where maybe like the FA and PFA, right? They've earned a huge amount of money. This is my opinion. Though those bodies have earned a lot of money over a lot of years. This is now, it's all very well talking about grassroots football, this, that, and the other. Now is the time for them to put the money where their mouth is.
The FA
And-
definitely fail on grassroots football, but,
but they need
PFA, I'm a member of the
they're
PFA,
great,
right?
the PFA.
Unbelievable.
But what I'm saying is now is the time, because that is going to have a big impact. So me personally, and there are going to be clubs that cannot afford. Now, unemployment within the whole country is plummeting, right? And football is no exception. So these ones that are YTS, whether they look at, say, like with the first year
why
pro,
should they support that club?
No.
You can't do that.
No, what I'm saying is now is the time, because a lot of that money comes in, because a lot of them, it might be that they extend the YTSs for another year. So it's the same thing, because there's going to be unemployment. The other thing is these boys that now are going to fall short and not be able to stay in football for this period of time, which is crucial for them to even have a chance. Yeah. But what are we going to do with them otherwise? They're still going to have to go out there and be unemployed. So if there can be some tie-in support, maybe an extra lift from government to the governing bodies where they could potentially match and raise a little bit, maybe giving the Premier League slightly less money. There are things that can be done.
I get it, but it's like, if you think of football as a business and you go, well, if it was your business, for example, and you were going to go out of business, right, the government ain't going to support your business. So
yeah, but they wouldn't. No, you're wrong. Right, you're wrong. So if now, I'm thinking about this already, so I think you're wrong there. So this is what I think football needs to be doing. Because, right, so the youngsters that now, like, to take them on YTSs, I call them YTSs, scholars, it's the same thing, apprenticeships, as they call them now. Now, I've got one in the office in Essex that works for me on that system. Now, I'm looking and thinking about that I will take more, because you do get subsidy for these individuals. So you're helping youth back into work. So I'd probably be more inclined to take 5 youngsters opposed to probably 1 experience actually, but there's got to be a balance because you need experience along with a young one. So it's something that I'm looking at doing more of, and my thoughts is to bring them on. And obviously it's going to be a low wage, which will be good for us because obviously it's not going to cost us so much. You probably take volume. You then can say help youth back in, and hopefully these ones in 5 years' time are going to be really productive for me. So I'm actually the opposite. I know that I can get government funding towards this. So yes, from a business point of view, it's going to be a positive thing, and that's what I think football need to look at because they're no different. It's paid in exactly the same way. It doesn't really cost them. They get money in from the league anyway for the youngsters. It's just that you might have to remodel everything around it.
Well, what actually happens at the minute is that the league, if you spend £10, give you £10.
Yeah.
So they will give you what you spend.
Yeah.
So if I spend 200 grand on my reserves and my academy in infrastructure, they'll give me 200 grand.
Yeah.
So, they do already support it, but I don't know what's going to happen with, everything I'm reading and everything's telling me that there's going to be clubs going out of business. It's fine. And how you're going to change that is, I don't know, because without a crowd, you're losing so much revenue.
Yeah. I think you've got to be creative, and I'm loving some of the ideas at the moment. I know we disagree on this, but I think that people are going to want to support and keep their clubs going, and even maybe the lower ones. So it's like that we've talked, and you said, I think it's been mentioned already. Love the cardboard cutout. I know you're a bit like that. I think it's brilliant.
Shit,
I think it's brilliant because just to look up and just see and it gives the fans. They're not there, but I think it's a great idea. We disagree on that. I think it's a really good idea. Okay, well, you have a better idea, but I think it's a good idea.
I think you should have webcams on your seat and you can still watch it. So you should get a code.
Yeah.
Right? Every seat, don't matter, you can pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? You buy a season ticket, you can then watch the game from your seat.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
Well, I was saying for the lower league, we were talking about this, if the deal did get done or another club, because you're going to have to ride out the storm for at least a year. That's what I think is, to buy anything now is a big gamble. So you're going to have to really, really think about how you're going to make it work. And like you said, our bid would be to generate, and hopefully with youth, say if we did manage to get the deal done with Mac, I don't know. I don't see it happening. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't see it happening. But just say, for instance, I'm going to use that as an example. Again, what I've just said about youngsters, getting them involved in the club on apprenticeships. Not talking football necessarily. I'm talking about in and around to build the business, as you said, to make it a viable business. And that would have to be your focus. Almost the football would just be. You're going to have to just see how that runs. I think that potentially if you could set up a YouTube channel for people to watch it, I think they would go with the same idea, like you say with the cardboard. Maybe you could do webcam, you could do different things.
You're asking the fans to support the club, which yes they will, but some of these people now are losing their jobs. People are earning less money,
of course,
and they've got less money to spend.
Well, no, I understand. What I'm saying is, so you'd need to make it. You'd have to run it on. You're not going to look at making money because you're not. So for the first year, if you can make a break even, you've done incredibly well.
You have to be very clever.
Yeah, so and I think I'm quite clever.
If it does happen at some point, there are going to be creative ways of making money.
Of course,
and you're going to have to find them.
Yeah.
And if you're the first to do it, you know what I mean? It's going to have to be community driven.
Yeah, I think that it'd be sharing as well. Like if you're in the group with, like say if you're in League 1, League 2, whatever you're in, it's going to be really, really for the first time ever. Yes, you're in competition, but sharing all of these ideas, I think it's going to be really key. Like hopefully if they have like forums to share their ideas, because it's like a pack of cards, isn't it? If they all work together with their ideas and what's working at one club, it's not going to be about it's about buying the players. That's not what it is. It's about staying in business for this next year, for this next season. So I think for the first time in the history of football, they really, really need to work together.
What they're talking about, and this is only people talking, but I'm hearing on Sky Sports that League 2 clubs are going to be linked to Premier League clubs and Championship to League 1, whatever, and then their youth players are going to play in that team. I hate that idea.
Yeah, they're going to kill it.
I hate that idea. The reason is, great for the kids from Man United that are playing in Macclesfield's first team. What about every fucking other kid that can't get a club, right? Because you've got 6 players coming in from a Premier League club who have to play, right? And that's 6 more players you ain't paying, and 6 players that ain't got contracts.
And another thing, that they're talking about, obviously, well-being, the mental well-being. I'll be honest with you, because obviously I get the stuff comes through on email. I don't know why, but my son put my email. But all of a sudden, all of these kids can't just be dispensable. And I know football is that, but they can't bang on about that they care about their well-being and their mental health. Sending out a Headspace email to say, if you're worried, click this link. And they've given it to them for free for a year. But really, is that enough interaction? I know. I mean, look at when we first went into lockdown. I definitely saw a difference in my own son. And, you know, it's a tough time, and I don't think there is enough support. So by doing what they're talking about, what you've just said, that's going to make it even harder, isn't it? So where's the thought of the welfare, the ones that are in this in-between stage? And, okay, we'll just do this. There has to be a balance. I mean, I've read in the newspaper today, again, about, you know, how many issues are coming through on the PFA about, obviously, mental health. The rise is phenomenal, they're saying. And it's not just in football, that's across, obviously, the UK.
Do you know what, though? But the PFA do a lot, though, for
they
that.
do, but they need support.
If you ring them, you get support. You can have therapy, you can go to rehab, you can go and see people.
But I'm saying this is only coming out from the PFA.
They fund it
the
all.
clubs are not doing it, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, no, but that, you know, we know about West Ham, for example. West Ham have got 2 therapists, full staff now, and apparently in the academy they're the busiest people. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, they've got to
improving,
think.
But it's slow.
They have got to think about what they're doing. These ones, even the like as you said, by doing what they're talking about. What about the ones that are like, say, 23, 24, a bit older, that are relying on playing for these clubs? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They want to have their jobs, and they're trying to obviously push up the league, most of them, aren't they? Do you know, and they're doing that for a reason. They've gone through this whole cycle. They're now at, say, 23, 24, waiting for their chance to go again. If they then all of a sudden start bringing all the reserves in from Liverpool, wherever, they're going to absolutely destroy them as well. So again, the mental health is a big thing, and they need to consider this. That's what I think.
Well, I have a feeling there's going to be a mass of unemployed footballers this year for the first, more than ever.
Maybe we just start a whole new team.
More than ever, you know. It's funny you say that. I did say that to a Macclesfield Town fan last week, and he asked me if I can't get the club. I said, well, we could start another Mac. And they went, oh no, I can't do that. And I was like, I'm only joking. But you could do. You could start 11 tiers down and build. I don't want to do that. But you could do that.
There could be more of that. You've done it.
You've done it at FC United. Have done it.
I'm wondering whether, I mean, no one knows how football's going to go. Whether they almost might create, whether it happened, but almost create this other league again off the back of this, because there's going to be so many unemployed footballers. But don't know. That's probably another topic for another day, because I think we're running over now. Our time
allotted. There's no actual limit on
I know,
it,
but we don't want to bore the arse off people.
Nicole's bosses told her that podcasts are better if they're just an hour.
Yeah, I did
not
say
longer.
that. And as Joe likes to listen back to it like 10 times, it's I can't.
You've got to listen to improve, haven't you?
You do.
But anyway, it's been an interesting week. And what else should we get on this week then? What are you doing?
I am going to be doing a little bit of work this week, a little bit of preparation to starting to ease everybody back into work. So, just sort of, working on my plan for the next 12 months. It's obviously moving and changing. I'd obviously right at the start from a business point of view, but we can maybe talk about that next week. I was going to say, maybe we could do it. Maybe you can run through your 12-month plan. Yeah, okay. Why? So you can all pinch my ideas. So as long as no competitors are listening, I'm only joking. I think, look, listen, this is for me as well. And even in my industry, what I've just said about football is I've been talking to other companies that do the same thing as me. And it is, working together at this time. Yeah. And I think it's going to be key. Like I think Boris said last night, he was disappointed that the world had not worked a little more together with PPE. So I think that filters all the way down. So you go, Boris. I will tell you something about PPE. Oh, go on then. Right. So I had a phone call last week, didn't I? So somebody rang me and said, these GN89 masks or whatever they are, the ones with the valves, they were like £4 like a month ago. They rang me up and said, look, they're £1.50 now. Yeah. So then I rang someone that was after the month before. Right, Del Boy Trotter. Yeah. And he went, Joe, there's millions from the country now. Flooded. People have bought them in. What people now want are gloves. Yeah. So a box of disposable gloves that were £2.50 before this, and now £12.50. It's capitalism. Right? So it's showing that Well, there's why it's because of the deliveries. There's always going to be. And it's funny because then we was in like B&M bargains or Home Sense or something, weren't we? But they're not graded ones. No, but that was £20 for a box. Yeah, they're not graded ones. They're not medical. £20 for a box of gloves. It's a lot of money. Yeah. Anyway, so I managed to get 80 pairs, 80 boxes. Who did?
Well, you got them and I sold them to the supplier.
I was like the middleman.
But yeah, a friend of mine sold 500 fans and pairs this week.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I said well done.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for listening. Tune in this time next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Send us your products. If you're interested, you can contact Atlantic Podcast Studios and they'll help you out. We'll be back next week. We're going to keep giving this a go.
We are going to try again. So hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Look forward to seeing you next week for a bit more business.
Yeah, and if you see Nicole, say hello to her.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you feel free. Do you know what I mean?
Grab the pod.
I'm not as scary as I look.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Somebody's life, journey, a moment in time, or it could mean nothing without a husband and a housewife.